stamping friends. I'm Terry with RusticBarnCards, and today I'm going to make 2 cards using the stamp set Dandelion Wishes. And before I get started, I wanted to tell you, if you would like a catalog, please let me know. I'm making my list, and I'd love to add you to the list so I can send you a catalog out in April. The new annual catalog is just around the corner, and I'd love for you to have a catalog. So if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, reach out to me and I'll send you a catalog. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe by clicking that button down below. Hit that bell so you'll be notified when I upload videos. And those of you that are returning, thank you very much. So let's turn the camera down and let's start stamping. All right, we're going to start stamping. For my first card, I'm going to be using 2 ink colors, Daffodil Delight and Blackberry Bliss. And then on the second card, I'm going to be using Pacific Point and Granny Apple Green. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be using this stamp set, Dandelion Wishes. It's in the annual catalog. And we have Sending Well Wishes Your Way, which is a sentiment. I'm going to use Wishes for a Lifetime of Love and Happiness. I made a wish and you came true. So you can make some anniversary, some wedding cards, get well cards. And of course, you can always use sentiments from other stamp sets that you have to make your cards. So let's go ahead and get started. So the card base is Daffodil Delight, and that's cut at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I have 2 basic white cardstock, and they're both 5 1/4 by 4. One is for the inside and one is for the layer on the outside of our card. And then I just have a scrap of basic white that I'm going to be using to stamp and to die cut our image and our sentiment out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be bringing in this image from our stamp set. I'm going to be using this image, the larger dandelions, and Sending Well Wishes Your Way. So I'm going to be bringing in Blackberry Bliss. And we'll do our stamping first. And I'm going to bring in grid paper because I'm going to stamp off. So I have the Blackberry Bliss. I'm just going to kind of make my own DSP. So I'm just going to ink up, and then I'm going to stamp off, and then onto my card, and stamp off. And I'm going to continue. So I have all of it filled in. And so let me show you. It will look like this. So you won't have to watch me, but that's how you make the DSP. And let me go ahead, since I have the Blackberry Bliss out, let me go ahead and use it to stamp our sentiment. So I'm going to bring in Sending Well Wishes Your Way, and I'm going to ink this up in the Blackberry Bliss. Press it down and straight up. And I already have a little ink in our card. Luckily, we haven't put the basic white in. So let's go ahead and bring in our Daffodil Delight, and we're going to stamp our dandelions. So we have this ready to go. Go ahead and ink this up. And we'll place it right here and press down and straight up. All right, we will go ahead and close our Daffodil Delight. And I'm bringing in the layering circle dies. And I'm going to be using the largest one for our dandelions, and next to, not the smallest, but it's next to the smallest. No, it's third from the, so the largest, and then next to the largest. There we go. Okay, let me go ahead and run this through the cut and emboss machine. And we have Sending Well Wishes Your Way, and we have the dandelions. Okay, let's go ahead and put this card together. I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet. I use this all the time, and I really like it because adhesive glues, they do not stick on your grid paper. They stick on the silicone, and then you just wipe them off, okay? So it makes it a great tool. So I'm going to go ahead and add the layer inside our card base, which will cover up that smudge. Okay. And now we're going to bring in our DSP that we made. And we'll add some adhesive. And we'll line this up the best we can. And then we're going to pop these up with dimensionals. So I'll turn these over and we'll add dimensionals. So I've added 5 dimensionals. We'll bring in our card, put that kind of towards the top to leave room for our sentiment. And then I'm going to overlap this a little bit. So I'm just going to put adhesive here and then just pop up with dimensionals down below. Since this is already popped up, I won't need any dimensionals at the top. So I'll add 4, and then I'm going to add my adhesive, and I have already taken the backs off of the dimensionals. So we will put this, I'm going to do it a little bit over to the right. Actually, I'm going to go up just a little bit. I am doing it to the right, but just because I'm going to add a little bow. So I'm going to bring in this Daffodil Delight ribbon. This is in our annual catalog. It's Daffodil Delight. It's ruched ribbon. So I'll make a little ribbon. The reason I make the bow while it's still connected, that way I don't waste any ribbon. Because if I cut it off, it's kind of hard to know exactly how much I'm going to need. So I'll bring in my snips. I love my snips. They are very sharp, so you have to be careful, but they do an excellent job of cutting ribbon. And if you're fussy cutting an image out. Okay, then we'll add this. I'll bring in my glue dots. And then you just roll the paper back till you see a glue dot. And then you just press. And you have the glue dot back here. And I think I will put that right here. And here is our first card, Sending Well Wishes Your Way. Bright and Cheerful, Blackberry Bliss, and Daffodil Delight. let's make the second card. This next card, we're going to need the Pacific Point and Granny Apple Green. If you place an order with me the month of March, make sure you use this host code XG9DEHF2 if your order is less than $149 or less. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe by clicking that subscribe button down below. It helps me to grow my channel, and I really appreciate it. Our card base for the second card is going to be Pacific Point, and it is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then Basic White, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and you will need 2 of the Basic White at 5 1/4 by 4. One for inside and one to layer on the outside. So I already took the Basic White and I went ahead and added, using Granny Apple Green, I went ahead and added our small little flyaways from the dandelions. And then I took Granny Apple Green, and this is 1 3/4 wide by 5 1/4 in length. And then I went ahead and used Granny Apple and stamped on here, and then I glued this, and this is going to go on the front of our card. So let's go ahead and add those, and then we will have that finished. So both these cards are quick and easy to make. But this one's going to be it's going to be a different layout than the one we just made. And I think I'm going to bring in my liquid glue just because I have a little bit more of a chance to move it if I don't get the card layer on there quite right. Whereas with the Stampin' Seal, wherever I place it, it's pretty much there. Sometimes it helps me if I open my card this way to get it lined up. So I'm going to kind of get that lined up and then press it down when I have it lined up. So these are kind of bright colors, I know, but I think I like the bright colors. So I'm going to bring in Pacific Point, and this is cut at 4 1/8 by 3 inches. And then you'll need Basic White cut at 2 7/8 by 4. And this is going to layer right on top of here. And then the Pacific Point, we would go ahead, and I've already done that, and I've already stamped our dandelions on here. So this is going to layer right on top of here. So let's go ahead and do that. And I could pop this up, but I think I might pop up the Pacific Point layer. Okay, I want to make sure I get this. There we go. Even. Whoop. I think as I pressed it down, it moved a little bit on me. There we go. Okay. And now I am going to pop this up. So I'm going to turn it over and add some dimensionals. There they are. Couldn't find the dimensionals. So I'm just probably going to put one in each corner, one in the middle, and then just take the backs off. I just use my fingernails. Nothing fancy. I'm going to turn that over. And we will try to center this. I need new blades, which I have ordered. Okay. And now we're going to bring in, I stamped Sending Well Wishes Your Way with Granny Apple Green. And then I brought in this. No, I did not bring in that punch. I was going to, but I decided to bring in this punch. Okay, this is in the annual catalog, and it's called the Everyday Label Punch. And I do not know if it's going to be carried over to the new annual catalog that's coming out soon. So if you like this punch, you might want to get it now. So now we're going to add Sending Well Wishes right here at the bottom of our card. And I'm going to pop Sending Well Wishes up with dimensionals too. And I'm just adding 3 dimensionals. I always like to add one in the middle so it won't sag. And we'll put that right here, a little bit to the right. And we have our second card, Sending Well Wishes Your Way. Let's add a little bling. I have lots of different embellishments, but it seems like you can't go wrong with the Rhinestone Basic Jewels. So, put this right here. And let's see. Let's put one down here. There we go. Sending Well Wishes Your Way. So this would definitely brighten up someone's day by getting this. So let's look at the 2 cards that we made today. Here are our 2 cards. Which one do you like the best? Please leave a comment, let me know. And I think this card needs a little bling, don't you? So I'm going to add a dab of clear glue on this card. And then I'm going to bring, whoop, I just about spilt it. I'm going to bring in the ice cream corner sprinkles. I think I did. And I'm going to just take a few of these and put right here because I want the yellow or the Daffodil Delight. There we go. I'm going to bring in my Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to use this end here. It has a little putty on the end, so I can just pick this up and I can set that right down where I put the glue. And pick up another one. And then we'll put one right here. So this Take Your Pick tool, you can use the putty end to pick things up. And then this side, you just twist it and it comes out. And you have like a little spatula. So this Take Your Pick tool, if you do not have one, I highly recommend it. I use this all the time. All right, so here are our 2 cards. And they both have a little bit of bling on them. So let me know again which one you like. I'm Terry Hartley with RusticBarnCards. Please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week.